I remember getting very dizzy, and then I passed out. And when I passed out, I busted my head open on the bumper of the car. And after I hit my head on the cars, when I left my body, and there were two beings. They had a human form, but as soon as I came to them, they were shimmering beings. It was a seated knowledge within me, I believe, after my near-death experience, because somehow, some way, I knew things that I should not have known. There is no death. There is no death at all. The only death it is the physical body. Our spirit never dies.
The A.J. Parr Spiritual Journalist Podcast.
It was early evening. We got into the garage, and they were working on the car a little bit. They got it started, and they were standing in the walk-through doorway for the garage. It was kind of cool outside, so the overhead door was closed, the walk-in door was open, and they were standing in the doorway getting some fresh air. I didn't think anything about it. I was inside the garage behind the car playing with something. I don't know what I was playing with, but I remember getting very dizzy, and then I passed out. And when I passed out, I busted my head open on the bumper of the car. And after I hit my head on the cars, when I left my body. I didn't hover. I went right to the tunnel, came out of the tunnel, and there were two beings. They had a human form, but as soon as I came to them, they were shimmering beings, and they were on both sides of me, my left and right. And I mean, they were shimmering. Just all I could just make out was they were shimmering. But what encapsulated me was the love and the passion and the compassion, and just overwhelming feeling of love. And yeah, I went with them, and we went into different cities. We went to different hallways, and we went actually quite a few places. I don't recall a lot of that. A lot of that's still coming back to me. I mean, it's been a long time, but I remember walking down one particular hallway or corridor, and I'm looking on both sides of me, and there's slivers. It looks like pieces of paper, but it was shimmering. It was everything shimmered. And I'm looking at this, and they're stacked, and there's thousands and thousands and thousands of these everywhere. And I remember in my head thinking, what is this? And then I hear it's the Book of Lives. Well, later on, I come to realize it's your Akashic records. I didn't really think a lot about that, but that image still comes to me often, especially when I'm trying to tune into somebody doing a reading or so. Then sometimes that information will come to me from those books or records. So we went from that city or that hallway into other hallways, and we came upon this one room. I mean, I was only six, so in perspective, this room is massive, and it was just huge. And in the middle of this room, there was a well in the ground of this room. It was a well, and the well was big, and it looked like a stop sign laying down. So it was an octagon-shaped well. So I'm walking up to it, and I'm urged by these beings to put my hands, and I could see the physical aspect of my being. So I put my hands in this well, and when I did, I got a little electrical pulse going on. It wasn't shocking, but it wasn't like putting your tongue on a D battery neither. It wasn't jolting, but it was very tingling. And as I'm doing this, I'm getting thoughts in my head, and I'm getting scenarios, and I'm getting scenes and all kinds of things. And I'm just kind of doing this, kind of playing with it. And it's like, oh, this is crazy wild. And I feel the tingling go through my body. And at that point, I knew that whatever has gone on with me was taken care of. I no longer felt ill, sick, or anything like that. But I didn't feel like that as soon as I went into the light, anyways. But this gave me the overall sense that everything is great. So as I've got my hands in the well, and I'm doing kind of this number right here, I feel myself being pulled back just a little bit. And I pulled my hands out. And when I did, I'm kind of rubbing them, and I'm thinking, wow, this is incredible. Wow, I wish I could take this home with me. So I'm kind of doing this, and I kind of look over to my right, and the being that was next to me, uh, in my head, I hear, you can go whatever direction you want to go. And when that was come to me, then a hallway in front of me appeared, and on both sides and to the back of me. So I kind of did a scan, and then when I scanned back to my left, I came to on the couch. When I came to the on couch, they were pulling oxygen off of me, and I was sore from them doing compressions. I don't know if CPR was around then or not, but they were banging on my chest to get me to breathe again. So when I came to, of course, I was crying like a little baby that I was. I was only 6. So after that, then they took me to the doctors immediately. He was still there. So then they sent me to the hospital and they did some tests and I was fine. Everything that I didn't show any signs of anything whatsoever. They didn't have the hyperbaric chambers at that time for me to get oxygen therapy or nothing like that. So I spent an afternoon in the hospital, and then I came home. And then it's been crazy ever since.
What would you say were the after effects? Did you notice something different?
Oh, geez, oh, Pete. The after effects, I started hearing things. I started seeing spirit immediately. I would get information on people. I found it hard to be in groups of people. I would be overloaded with just if somebody was very emotional, it affected me. If they were mad, it affected me. I was like a sponge, an uncontrollable sponge, just soaking up everything that everybody was going through. And it got to the point where I just didn't want to go anywhere and I didn't want to do anything but stay at home and play with my cars or just kind of, but yeah, it was crazy. I started seeing things and hearing things. And, like I said, I grew up in a Southern Baptist family. So when I started talking to my parents and my friends about what I was seeing and hearing and feeling and things like that, they will, Randall, stop lying. Don't lie, man. You're going to go to hell. You're going to go to hell. Stop lying. So to me, AJ, it got to the point where I just didn't say anything anymore. I just zipped my mouth shut and that was it. There was nobody to talk to about what I experienced. There was nobody. I couldn't talk to my mom or dad. I got tired of being called a liar. Couldn't talk to the church because, again, I get tired of being called a liar. That's of the devil, and I don't believe any of that crap. I didn't want to share. I just wanted to keep quiet and go about my business and walk around and be one with nature and God and everything else. So, again, I just got to the point where I just didn't say anything or do anything with anybody. I was dead for 20 minutes. Well, I still get doubts and I still get fears. But when those happen to me, I'll get visions of where I was. And the feeling is so encompassing. The love, it's like being in a continuous state of bliss. And when you're in this continuous state of bliss, nothing else really matters. And that's what we're here about, is to give others that continuous state of bliss, to uplift others and to help and to be of service and to it feels better for me to help somebody as opposed to knocking somebody down. I would rather pat you on the back and give you a hug and say, well done. Let's do some more, instead of I'm not even going to go there. I want everybody to succeed and be happy and be full of love. And that's what it's all about, is to be completely full of love. It was a seated knowledge within me, I believe, after my near-death experience, because somehow, some way, I knew things that I should not have known. Because of the near-death experience, I've been tuned, and almost all near-death experiences say the same thing. I'm having computer problems because of my energy. I have light issues because of my energy. So my energy, like every other near-death experiences, is really big, and we can pick up things and sense things and know things and help others by tuning into them too. There is no death. There is no death at all. The only death it is the physical body. Our spirit never dies. It never dies. We are part of the greater whole. So we continue on forever and ever and ever. You can't kill energy, and that's what we are. We are energy of the divine. At the end of your life, you will become everybody you've ever encountered. This would be your life review. Everything you've ever said and done to anything and everybody, including animals, plants, and whatever, you will become them, and you see how what you said and done will affect the other person and how it affects their people. So now, not only will you feel what it has done, you will experience what everything that you have said and done to anything and everybody. So in regards to that, watch what you say, and when you reach out to people, reach out of love. To think that we can get everything in life, every lesson to learn within one lifetime, to me is a foolish thought, because there's no way that you can understand everything there is to know about compassion, love, hate, anger, uh, unconditional love. There's people who will never understand unconditional love in this lifetime. So I believe we've lived many, many, many lifetimes in order to be able to figure this out. You just can't get it in one lifetime. I completely disagree with those who say we only live one lifetime, you get one chance. That to me is bull. We have many chances. We are incarnated time and time again. And we have a soul group that we work with. Not your parents are typically not your soul group. Some of them are, but you will meet people within your lifetime that you just absolutely have a bond with, it's unquestionable. You don't know why you're so not necessarily attracted, but you are attracted to the energy of this person. You guys are drawn together like a magnet. So why is that? It's because in the spirit world, we have a soul group that we work with, and we go from lifetime to lifetime working on each other's karma and issues throughout our lifetimes. And we discuss with each other, how can I help you in this next lifetime? Maybe I'll come in as your kid, or your mom or your dad, or your lover that abuses you. Whatever it takes to work out our karma and to make sure that our soul can grow and expand to become a guide or become an angel or become whatever it is that you've signed up for in your soul evolution. We are divine. We are of God. We are God. God said you are created in the likeness and the image of God. What does that mean? When you look in the mirror, you're looking at God. You're the creation of God. We are individual of that creation, but we are of God. So that makes us God. So we came here, I believe, to become guides of the Godhead. As we advance spiritually, we now become guides to where we can help other souls to get to the heavens.
This has been the A.J. Parr Spiritual Journalist Podcast. Please like, share, and subscribe.